think my battery ran out or something. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, it ran out. I connected it again to the charger that I had. So now everything is good because I had to connect it to a power source. But where was I going with this sharing about this connection that I experienced? And a level of anxiety it brought with it to try to navigate all kind of situation from a disconnected place in my mind. What can I say? Share about that. What comes to mind is this guy phenomenology that's called Maurice Merleau-Ponty, a Frenchman. He talks about, and this is actually the philosophy behind, I think, what the philosophy of, sure if it is correct, and I'm not an academic, so don't totally take my word for this, but I think that's the philosophy behind the third generation of cognitive science, or the 4E cognitive science. State of the art in seeing that the body is actually where we come into contact with the reality, the center of our old world, and how we navigate to the world. And that's why I think my experience is how everything started to change slowly. And I feel inclined to be really open about my journey, or some of my journey, because I think why am I wanting to or why do I feel inclined to share this? I think I want to challenge myself, and I'm not alone in this experience. That's totally I'm sure about, but I kept having this returning depression because it was a lot of anxiety in my system of being totally disconnected from my body. So, and also being overly medicated by fucking psychiatrists, or the psychiatry institution of psychology. This is about 25 years ago now, but I kept being drugged, and at some point it was really helpful, because my whole this aunt in my ear. But my point is, like, I had to, and it was working because I was severely clinically depressed, and then your mind stop working properly. But the problem after about 10 years of being medicated with antidepressants, it stopped working. And I was very... So I was fortunate enough to stumble over um, mindfulness meditation. And I started to do a practice that's just sitting, like Zen, sitting, concentrating on breathing and stuff. And every time I did that, I started crying, like, because suddenly I could start to feel, sense into my body and what was going on and stuff. So I was able to do that practice, the kind of crying every time I sat down. And I was like amazed by this, because suddenly I could feel again after being numbed out by the antidepressants that was useful, as I said. Sometimes you just have to, yeah. So I'm not saying that medication is bad necessarily, but if you stay on them for 10 years like I did, and I know other people also. But the point I'm trying to make is that when I did that and connected more and more to my body, I was able to, over several months, stop taking the medication. So I took a little bit, a little less, a little less, a little. Over 9 months, I was able to stop the medications and just practicing more and more meditation, more and more and more. And on the way, I discovered this scared little boy that didn't, that was very innocent. And yeah, um, and in a way, I'm still deepening this connection to this boy who was really scared. Um, I have so much hope that I'm gonna continue to deepen my relationship to this joyous, innocent, beautiful little boy that's that needs my support and my attention to be able to grow up in a way. And it may not grow up, but it needs my attention, my support, and my care. maybe I want to read something today or again. Let's see what I got here. Trying to find my. Where is it? There. Bring it, maybe? Maybe I didn't bring it. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna try to find something that resonates with what I just shared, and let's see here. Maybe, yeah, this is. I think this speaks to the disconnection that I was talking about in my personal example. And this is from Lawrence Hillman's book Planets in Play, that I find really applicable to like everyday life and in a very, it's a super applicable thing that he is talking about and writing in his writing. And over the years, I think I've developed some kind of language to help myself, and I yeah. So I'm gonna talk about this connection I'm gonna read something from his book. Like the element Mercury, archetypal Mercury is neither solid nor liquid, but both at once. Symbolically, this means that your inner Mercury has the capacity to embody two seeming opposites at the same time. In a world, just about everything is dualistic and consists of opposites. Even more mystical worldviews, such as Hermetic philosophy, Western astrology, and Jungian psychology, are all based on oppositional thinking. We also have the notion of yin and yang. According to ancient Chinese philosophy, these two cosmic forces of creative energy are the source of all. I thought I heard thunder, but hope it's not gonna rain. We indeed live in a black and white world where politics, ideas, and one's philosophy about life are generally divided into two opposites. You're either with me or against me. I'm either pro this and therefore against its opposite, or vice versa. You can play this game with just about anything we do and believe in. Night and day, left and right, woman and man, success and failure, good and evil, and so forth. dualism is inherent to human thinking and experiences. And I'm gonna skip something, and I'm gonna say this. Mercury's unique ability to incorporate two opposites at once makes him the character we turn to when we want balance. When we want to balance our yin and yang energies, because he can be both at once. He can make one out of two. I noticed just reading that picks up my internal Mercury and just whoop. And actually reading this book and is so written in a mythopoetic way. All these beautiful metaphors he uses to talk about this is not. He makes pictures using metaphors, and that's kind of goes deeper than our propositional knowing, and connects us to our bodies, because the participation and the perspectival way he talks about this makes it very accessible and also emotional, because our imagination, he taps into our creative thinking, and that our imagination is deeply coupled with our feelings. That's why we love entertainment. So if you think this is interesting, let me know, and send me a personal message, and we can talk about this more. I love to talk about this stuff, and if we do it in a way connected, like being connected to our bodies with some grounding exercise before, it can be, in my experience, quite transformational. In order so we can kind of give our mind some rest, or maybe not. That's not. Yeah, we can start to inhabit this more perspectival and participating, and participate properly with our ideas, and start to feel into the ideas, or and embody a deeper sense of reality. Thank you for your attention, and see you soon.